It's all about Derek Carr right now.
Oh, and Davante Adams. You know, we're all talking about Derek Carr. The bigger Cogswell cog, the bigger cog here might actually be Davante Adams, who talked about his love for Derek Carr. Have you heard this?
Obviously, I don't think anybody was excited about it in here. You know, him being one of my really good friends, and you know the reason why I came here in the first place. I mean, I wouldn't be here right now if he wasn't here. So there's a process of how things go, and obviously I support my guy, and you know we got to finish the season out, you know, the best way we can possible with, you know, all things considered at this point.
Whoa, that's my guy. The reason I came here, Davante Adams, top 5 receiver in the NFL. No one could argue that. Maybe top 3, right? Davante Adams leaves Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, where they were pretty much a playoff automatic for the last, what felt like decades, right? And now, the quarterback he went to go play with in Las Vegas is out? Take your 2 weeks? We don't even know if you're coming back?
Well, let's backtrack and back up a little bit while you were eating pizza last night, stuffing your face, and having drinks, catching up with friends. Like I was. You may have missed. Josh McDaniels announced that backup quarterback Jarrett Stidham is in for Carr, taking over for Carr for the last 2 weeks. They make it seem like it's this mutually agreed sort of thing. He'd step away from the team to not be a distraction. Again, they're 6-9. Carr's guaranteed $33 million. What's going on? Is he done?
I mean, they were committed to Derek Carr less than a year ago because they gave him the 3-year, $120+ million extension. So, you know, up until this season, you know what the bummer is for the Raiders, for Raiders fans? And I do feel for them a little bit. They thought they finally had it together, right? This is a team, a franchise with a great history, but you forget that history's a long, long time ago. When you talk about John Madden, I mentioned Jim Plunkett before, and Kenny Stabler, Marcus Allen, this is not yesterday. We're talking 30, 40, 50 years ago. So we got to remember the Raiders, yeah, they had that one run at the Super Bowl with Gruden. And when they lost to Gruden, if you remember the Jerry Rice, Tim Brown, Rich Gannon team, that was their only, sniff of success.
And he's had 9 years with the team. So time is a flying.
So we're talking about a Raiders team where this is a franchise that probably thought, all right, we're going to get back on track. We got a new city, a sweet new stadium that looks like a giant Roomba. We got McDaniels as the coach. We got Derek Carr locked up. We got Davante Adams. We're building this. We got Renfro. We got pieces of the puzzle here. I remember during the preseason, I'll admit it, because I'm not one of those guys that tries to hide my bad takes, because I've had some good ones too. But one of my worst ones, Vegas had the Raiders over under 8 wins. Thank God I wasn't in Las Vegas at the time, or wherever I was gambling didn't have that prop bet. I thought over 8 wins was automatic for the Raiders. I said, what's the worst case scenario? They go 9-8 or 10-7 and make the playoffs. I thought the Raiders were locked and ready to go. So this has to be an amazingly huge setback for all the fans and everyone in Vegas, and McDaniels. Carr doesn't know where he's going. Davante Adams, if the Raiders aren't careful, Covino, he might say, yeah, I demand the trade. I don't want to be here. I came here for that guy. I left my scenario in Green Bay. I was chilling, eating cheese curds, doing Lambeau leaps, hanging with Aaron Rodgers, and I left that to come here. And now you all messed it up.
For his guy, for his friend, he clearly states that he came here because of his relationship.
You know what it would be like?
Carr.
It would be like you inviting me out to a club. Let's go back to on a Throwback Thursday, let's go back to the 2000s.
2000s.
When you and I were single dudes.
Yeah.
I
was slaying it, bro.
All right, slow down. Covino and I, single guys. That's how we became friends. We were both radio guys. We met. We're like, yo, what are you into? I'm like, I'm into sports, hot girls, and hanging out and drinking. He's like, me too. Let's hang. That's how Covino and I became friends. So imagine us, early 20s, and you're like, yo, dude, there's this club in Jersey. Come meet me there. Every girl here's at 10. And I'm like, dude, I'm all the way on Long Island. I'm not coming to Jersey. And you're like, bro, come to Jersey. Oh. And I make the trip over the George Washington Bridge or through the Lincoln Tunnel. I get my ass to Jersey. I show up at this club. I pay the cover charge. I get into the club. I'm like, Covino, I'm here. Where are the ladies? And you're like, yeah, bro, I left that club. I'm home.
Well,
but I went through all this effort because I wanted to go with
you're
you.
my guy.
You're my guy. That's what Derek Carr and Davante Adams are dealing with right now. Davante Adams went to the club, and Derek Carr is like leaving the club.
You know what, man? It's like I've always said, Rich, and I've always said this. Sports imitates life.
You have said that.
I've always said that. Some people say art imitates. No,
you know what else you also say a lot? You also say 27 rings, and people want to punch you.
I say that sometimes
But
when we're talking baseball.
You're a Yankees fan. I get it.
Yeah. So sports imitates life. It's like this. Hit it. How about, and I don't want to give up too much about my personal life, but I will because it's relatable. You know, I sort of originally moved out here to be a family man, Nicolas Cage style,
Great movie.
especially around the holidays.
What was a better life for Nick Cage, when he was with his family in the suburbs, or when he was like a rich guy with that sleek place?
Well, it depends when you ask me. If you asked me when I was a younger man, I was like, that slick place, man. Are you serious?
I remember thinking, what's the point of this movie? Great movie, but I'm like, I sort of like both of his lives. Like, you know.
So I had a daughter.
And still do.
And still do. She lived in L.A. with her mom, and I was going back and forth like a maniac. Back and forth, just trying to make my life work because we were working in New York.
Just to give people some insight, Covino's not full of crap. Covino and his girl were dating long distance. They had a baby. They had been together for years. Covino and I were doing Sirius XM in New York and SNY, the Mets and Jets channel. So we were doing a radio and TV show Monday through Friday. Every Friday night, Covino would take a flight to L.A., come back on the red eye Sunday, Monday. Like, we're talking this guy
for years.
Every weekend just to be a present dad.
Yeah, because, you know, my wife.
Ex was uncooperative.
My ex, you know, she had her life and career in Los Angeles. And my daughter in Los Angeles. And I had my career in New York. So I'd be going back and forth, doing my best. Finally, was able to make the move. Years later, 6 years later, was finally able to make the move officially to Los Angeles. And Rich decided to come along. Spotty decided to come along. But finally, all of my life was under one roof in L.A. I said goodbye to the East Coast.
It was a good idea for our show and all of us. But the reality is the catalyst was we were all New York and New Jersey guys. Covino's ex-wife and kid were out here in L.A., and we had some opportunities that said, hey, if you move to L.A., it'll be worth it. And we're like, you know what? It might be time for a change. And Covino's kids out there.
Exactly.
So, boom, we get here.
Within 6 months, the marriage was over. I'm like, I went through all of this.
You're Davante Adams, bro.
I came all the way here, finally. Moved my entire career to Los Angeles, again, for fortune and glory, but also to be Nicolas Cage, the family man.
And you know what? Davante Adams went from Green Bay to Vegas, sort of an upgrade in lifestyle. You went from Jersey to Los Angeles, sort of an upgrade of life.
Yeah, look, but the downside was, now that I'm finally here, you want to bounce? Are you serious? So, I mean, like I said, sports imitates life.
How does
Do
it
I
make
feel
you,
bad
how
for
does it make
Adams?
you, how does it make you feel, Covino?
Well, there's a silver lining to this. And black. Silver and black.
Silver and black lining.
You know, life moved forward. We still prospered. We ended up on TV on ESPN. Our career was still doing well. It hit hard as far as life was concerned, but it's like Ivan Drago said, to keep it sports related.
My favorite boxer, Ivan Drago.
Yeah. You know, everyone's sort of out for themselves, dude. As sad as that is, I know it's a team sport.
What did Drago say
Derek?
again? Oh, that's right, the closed captioning. I fight for me.
He also said, I must break you.
He did say that.
The point I'm trying to make is, although it's a team sport, and although they're probably pals, and although I had great intentions to be a family man, people got to look out for themselves sometimes. So
Yeah.
what's Derek Carr supposed to do? What is he supposed to do in this situation? You know, to be fair, what was my ex supposed to do? Stick around because she owed me something? Right? If she wasn't happy or she wasn't vibing, what's she supposed to do? What's Derek
but
Carr
to-
supposed to
but to
do?
think
Worry
that-
about Adams in this
Yeah, but I'm saying
situation?